As part of your introduction to research using the library, we're going to talk about the difference between a library search and a Google search. Some food for thought. Neil Gaiman said that Google can bring you back 100,000 answers. A librarian can bring you back the right one. That's true of people helping you out here in the library, but it's also true of the library databases. Those databases will give you lots of opportunities to narrow and broaden your search, change it, adjust it, so that hopefully it brings you back the one that is closest to what you need to know to answer your question. In a Google search, or other search engines, they're searching for freely available information. This is information that anyone can find, they don't pay for it, and that will affect the quality sometimes. It might provide references to information rather than the information itself. For instance, it might say that this article would be good to read, but it wouldn't necessarily give you the full access to the article. It's often information that has been posted rather than published. So an individual might post something on their blog, but that doesn't mean that somebody else has had an opportunity to provide oversight and make sure that it's high quality and reliable. Sometimes you will find that published information, but a lot of it out there is just posted. There are also many different authors of information that you find online. Some of them will be experts, some of it will be high quality, and some of it not so much. You'll need to wade through and figure out who you can trust and who you can't. Library databases typically provide you with information that's behind a paywall. We've paid for it, so you have access to it. But it's information that is so high quality that it's worth something. It is information that has been published rather than posted. It's gone through an entire process to make sure that it's high enough quality, original, important, all of that. It's information by experts. Some of them are going to be better than others, but overall the quality of the authors will be a lot higher than the quality of the authors you find with just an open web search. And it gives you ways of finding more information. So once you find one piece of information, it's much more likely to point you to the other useful pieces of information that they used, and it gives you more tools to finding information in the field or the subject that you're looking at. So there will be times that you need to use Google, particularly early in the process. If you're still learning about your topic, still figuring out the basic vocabulary, or trying to develop that first draft of your research question, that's a good time to just broadly read, see what's out there, and learn the basics. Google can often help with that. Sometimes it has what you need. Some kinds of information are most likely to be found through the open web, and when those are the case, you'll want to use it. And sometimes it's all you have. If you're out of school, not around the state of Maine, you won't have access to the same great databases that we have, so it might be something that you just need to use in that case. The times to use the library include when you're really developing your question or your topic. You'll need to know if you need to narrow it or broaden it based on the research that's been published already and what's already known. You won't necessarily get a good handle on that from the open web search, so you'll want to be using a lot of library resources at that point. Also, when you're writing or approaching the writing time, you want to make sure that you're relying on high quality information, original thoughts, good information, so you want to make sure that the quality of information you're getting at that point is excellent. The library can help. And when that quality matters, there will be times that you need the best information out there, and that's usually found at the library. So you want to make sure you're searching in the right place to find that right information. The publication process all the way to getting to the library looks a little bit like this. An author will write up the results of a study or experiment that they did. They'll send it off to a journal, to the editor, who determines if that's a good fit for their publication. For scholarly information, that typically then goes to a panel of peers. We call this peer review because the peers of the author are going to review the quality, the originality, the methodology, how high quality it is just overall. And if they like it, they'll send it back to them to make some changes and get it up to their publication standards. It then gets published into the journal. That journal is subscribed to by a database. which we then subscribe to at the library. And it's through our subscription to these databases, which hold subscriptions to those journals, that you have access to it. Whether it's on campus, somewhere else, you can access it through our computers or yours and get all of that great information. Now, is there only one way to get this information? No. There will be a number of different methods you use, a number of different resources. You'll use all of these depending on what your needs are and what the best way is to find efficiently and effectively what you need. But library databases will give you a little bit more in the way of tools to find what it is you're looking for. It'll help you get there to the good end result, and it will keep you on a steady path toward the high quality information. So it's time to get started. Next, we'll learn how to go about library research and how to use the databases that we have for your coursework.